Okay. So we have 2 weeks left. So for this week, we have a PowerShell script that is going to be due on Sunday. And I tried to dump a whole bunch of things to point you in the right direction, to give you everything that you're going to need to do. Basically, I want you guys to make a script that gathers local machine information and then uploads it to a fake OneDrive folder. So when you create the script, make it so it asks the user for the computer name. That's what's called an input. And if you look up here, how to prompt for input, there's an article right there on it. So you need to prompt for the computer name, that way prompting for input, for what machine they want the information for. And then in order for it to function, there's your fake path I want you to use in your commandlet right there. Because usually when you investigate an attack or an infection, you have to figure out your machine information. So there's a lot of different things that you can do there. Also, there's this little super easy video right here that's how to use PowerShell script to collect computer hardware information. And I mean, it has some really cheesy music, so I muted it when I watched it, but because there's no talking to it, it's just music. But if you just pause it, he literally just has the scripts written out with little comments on top of it for how he did certain things. I put the last bunch of chapters over here if you're interested in looking at some of those. I would suggest this one because WMI and SIM commandlets can be used if you're interested in throwing some more stuff in there for your PowerShell script. There's some things in the month of lunches for that as well. If you look here, and I'll show you here the scripts for administrators. These are your how-to, how you're getting information for like this is the thing I like about them. See, they have everything listed out so you can see exactly what you're doing. And then we have getting your computer information. So this one right here, one thing that we're talking about is how do we get stuff off of how do we get stuff for the desktop? Well, look right here. Get sim instance class name. And if you want to do the Win32 because that, from what I've been reading, you need to be able to use that in order to get the full name of the desktop, I guess, because otherwise it gives you a shortened name. But this has a list of how to do all these. Here's your list, your desktop settings, BIOS information. Hey, look, processor information, computer manufacturer and model. You want to know your hot fixes? So this has a whole bunch of stuff here for that. And it's nice because it literally just shows you how everything works. And because you need to prompt the user for, you need to ask them to input stuff. I put this one right here. There's actually two. This one is just an example I was going to show you guys today. PDQ is a product that uses PowerShell commands and things like that in order to push out packages and software and fixes and things like that. And sometimes they have some really cool just random snips like this. So this one out here literally just says, get computer info, and then look, what do they want? Well, that's the property they want. They want the operating system. So, I mean, this is just a super short example that someone is using when they're asking for certain information. PDQ usually lists out and can go out and get, you can run it and then export, run it against your network. It'll ping out and get all your information and then you can set it so it'll dump everything into an Excel sheet. So here is one that I really suggest you guys look at because part of the script you have to do is prompting for input. So what you want to do is you want to do, let me scroll down here. This section here where it says read host, prompt, string. So what you want to do is basically it reads out the prompt, and then the string is what you're asking them for. It's a text prompt. And like here it says enter your name, but what you're really asking them for in here, you don't need to do like all that, but you need to ask them what the computer name is that you want that information on. So here is an example of some of this stuff and how you can do that as well. I just thought you guys would appreciate a couple of different looks at that. And I will tell you that there are tons and tons and tons of places that you can go to get examples of how to do this. Okay. You don't need to set it to be a secure string. That's not something you have to do for this assignment. If you really want to do an if else statement, you can do that. But remember, start simple and make sure it works first. Have you guys, I think it's Stack. Yeah, I think I was out there looking. Yeah, I was just looking at the ones that different things. I'll usually go out and look at, because there's lots of people that have asked, hey, I want to learn how to do this, but something's not right. Stack Overflow is one of the best places you can go to find other programmers and find out, hey, I had this problem and I don't know how to fix it. So this one is like a multiple section thing that's a little more complicated, and it's not working. Usually they post the non-working one out there, and what you want to look for is you want to look for the one with that green check mark. Okay. And you can see here they're asking for, okay, you really need to get your OS info, get Simmons, and then they have everything listed, and then they give them a couple of different options for doing this. And like this one goes like really far out here to give them a lot of information. But if you go out to Stack Overflow and you want to learn how to do these, I can guarantee, yeah, exactly. Like Glenn says, it is a lifesaver. When I was learning how to do C# ASP.NET, and I was like, this is great, but it doesn't quite show me exactly what I want to do. I used Stack Overflow and just typed in like, I want to know how to do this plus this plus this, and then tried to find somebody who was having a similar problem. And like 75 to 85% of the time, somebody had a problem with enough. Yeah, right. HTML, exactly. There's somebody out there that's going to have a similar enough problem that you can go, oh, well, I never thought of doing it that way. And it'll save you so much time. I can guarantee almost every single programmer I know uses this. It's the programmer version of just Googling it, but instead of, using, it's like a targeted Google towards people who are programmers. So, one thing that we need to talk about for the final project, I wanted to talk to you guys. Let me show you what was done in the previous course. Okay. And I don't want to do this. I don't like the way this is set up, but I don't like the email generated form or anything like this, but in this one, they use pretty much everything that you guys have been talking about. Oh, cat ran over the keyboard. Thanks so much. And they literally tell you what you have to do in order to do it, and give you exactly what your content has to be. And that you have to do the data sending through SQL, and then they make you do a demonstration to the class of it. Now that might work when you're doing an in-person class, but I don't think this is going to work quite as well for our class. So, and I think it also takes a little bit of the creativity out of it. And I really liked to see what you guys would come up with. So would you guys prefer to do a cut and dried version like this with me? I'll probably cut out a couple of things and got some comments here. Nope, not about what we're talking about in class. So I really need your input here, guys, because this is, 60% of your grade for this class. Do you want to do something like this? I feel you could all do this. It wouldn't be that hard of a time. I think you all understood it and have done all of this. I'm not going to do this section, but exactly, it's almost exactly like what was done in the HTML, and I feel like it's a repeat. So I mean, we can do something like that, but I'm not sure that it's really. Yeah, I don't really want to. I would like to try something new for you guys. So if you're okay with me doing something a little more creative for you guys, then I will scrap this and I will do something a little bit more creative for your final project, if that's okay. I wish I could let you guys do that. Yeah, no, I totally wish I could let you do that, German. They have been frustrating, but okay, so good. It sounds like everyone wants to do something that's different and a little more creative, and I am with you on that. Okay, I will put together some ideas and float them past you, and because I have some ideas on how to do stuff, but this was so similar to what we've already done. I just didn't want to rehash exactly the same thing. So, excuse me. Okay, are there any questions on this week's assignment? I know that we can. I want you guys to kind of go out, and I'd like you to watch the video, and I'd like you to look at on some of these articles that I've walked you through here. On this one, I think the only good way to do this is literally just plugging it into your PowerShell console. You don't have to do the whole thing at once. Just try the couple of the little pieces. And don't forget, Zach's really good with this stuff. And he's your tutor, and he's there for a reason. So if you have questions, ask Zach. If you have questions, ask me. But you can ask each other. I don't care on this one. I don't really want to receive 10 copies of the exact same code, but I really don't care if you guys work through how to help each other on this stuff, okay? Because it's PowerShell. It's administrative. This is the type of stuff that you're going to get asked when you go out and work in the job. You're going to get asked, hey, I want you to create a PowerShell script that does XYZ. And this is a super simple one compared to some of the things that you can do. If you decide you want to throw a little bit of flair on top of it and add some, things that it can ask for, that's up to you. For the machine name, instead of, you won't really need to make up a machine name. You just need to prompt them to enter a machine name. So, yeah. So you need to, that one that I showed you where it was like prompt machine name. I'm not sure, but you can always look that up, since you are Mr. iFrame. But yeah, for the machine name, you just go something like prompt dash prompt machine name, and then it'll be in quotes, and then it'll ask them, it'll be like, it'll write it up on that screen. Remember the write host command? And then you write host it up there and it'll pop it up and say, which, basically it'll prompt and say machine name, and then you just type in the machine name that you want it from. And you're assuming that they already have a list of machine names. So you don't have to make any machine names up. If you want to test it for yourself, use your own machine name since you're running it on your computer. That's pretty much the best way to test it. Look at your own machine name since you're testing it locally. And when it prompts for the machine name, type in your own machine name. And that way it'll bring up the information for your machine. But we're assuming for this assignment that they have already generated a list of machine names that they want this done for. Are there any other questions on that? We had the question on the machine names. If you decide you want to throw some more information in there, like you decide you want to know like available disk space or any of this other one, or you want to know not just the machine name, but you want to list their operating system, and you can throw these in there too, just to make it more interesting if you want to, because this is all stuff that this is all stuff that you're going to see in PowerShell scripts. This is especially the managing computers and stuff. This is a bunch of stuff you're going to see as a system admin, and cybersecurity crosses over with sysadmin a lot. There's you can do a select items from a list box over here if you want to do like UE elements to your script. And this one is probably a good one to look at as well. So on this one, they're using the IP address as the computer name. And if you want to learn what's called, there's that chapter that I suggested using WMI and CIM and commandlets. That chapter 9 has basically the ins and outs of what they're talking about when they're talking about WMI class details. Okay. So I highly suggest that you look at that as well, since that's in your reading. And this is just giving them giving the different information that you can list there as well. So you can throw that stuff in, but the basics of what you need are the local machine info, and there's this one right here will get you the Win32 BIOS, and that's fine. Or we could get just pick. I would suggest probably the listing the BIOS information. And a lot of times they'll want the computer manufacturer and the model. That's a good one to throw in there. A lot of times you'll see the properties. Can you see the properties they throw on the end here? You can do, you don't have to do all those, but there's a whole list of them that you can throw in here if you want to. But a lot of times we had to know the operating system type, just because it would help us in the type of patching and things that we needed to do. And let's see. Not a lot of the times did we have to do disk space. Logon session information was for other things, but it is a good something to do. Local time you can do. But really the top couple are the ones that you should be interested in. So I would definitely look at this one right here. which is the desktop settings. And then if you want to throw in BIOS information, that's fine. But in the very least, get this one right here. And then maybe this one right here. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Yep. Okay. Does anyone have questions on any part of this? I know there's a lot of stuff that you're just going to have to go and read through, but do you have any questions on anything or any of the parameters before we stop the lecture portion for today and talk about the rest of the stuff for this week? Okay, I'm getting dead quiet, so I'm assuming that means no. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with PowerShell scripting for right now? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the lecture for this portion right here. And then I will talk about some practice stuff after that. Okay.